looking before, Craig, at what what Barcelona have ahead, and it's not too bad with regards to the opponents, so Pedri will have time.
Yeah, I think Real Oviedo's next out. Obviously, Sid Lowe's team, they're struggling. I think it's at home. Albacete in the Copa del Rey. I think they go to Mallorca. They've got Elche, who are a decent side. So it's not easy, particularly places like Elche, but doesn't look like a terrible run. And they've been able to compensate when De Jong or Pedri have been out this season at times. Eric Garcia's done a good job, for example. So I would imagine they're going to be okay, but a bit of a shame for Pedri.
Fermin Lopez, though, was a real big talking point today. His 2 goals, Nigel. Here's just a look at some of his day, because he sometimes doesn't always get the credit that he deserves, being on a team full of such superstars.
Yeah, one of the most underappreciated midfielders in world football right now. Takes his first goal well. Goalkeeper probably is very questionable getting beaten in their post like that. But he doesn't care. He puts it in the back of the net. He does what he has to do. But this goal there is just pure quality there. You can't give a player of his quality that much time and space to edge of the box. You see him there opening up his hip like he's going for that far corner, comes across, back across it to the left corner. Real talented player, great technical ability. And he's just another player in a very talented Barcelona side. Like Grella said, the Barcelona, you don't worry about them scoring goals. They've got so many players who are match winners individually and collectively as a team. Their biggest question's always been defensively. You never worry about them scoring goals, creating chances. That's never going to be a problem. But Fermin Lopez had a fantastic game today. And he's, again, a player that doesn't get the recognition for probably being one of the top midfielders in world football.
5 Champions League goals as well. He leads the team, and that's impressive to say they've got the likes of Robert Lewandowski and Rafinha.
These guys are masters of the football, right? It's the reason why you play football, because of the technical abilities, the creativity, the different types of goals, the Olmo goal. You pay to watch that type of goal. You pay to watch this guy play, the way he swerves it into the corner. The masters of the football, masters of the space, masters of how to use the body that they have is just incredible. And it's sort of like they're really good at what the game was supposed to be. And it's not about the power and the pace, although that is a part of football moving forward.
That's credit to Barcelona. That's credit to the foundation of Barcelona as a football club. They've always been about the footballer. They haven't gone like some other clubs have gone, like Grella saying, he's 100% right. They've gone for athletes. They've gone for the big 6-foot players and this and that. And if you're an athlete first, we can coach football into you. Barcelona has always been about the football first before the athlete. And when you talk about players like Fermin Lopez, you talk about Pedri as well, how much of a player he is. And he's not the biggest of player, but he's super talented. And you'd have to say already he is, again, another player that's in the conversation, one of the best midfielders in the world, where it's all about the football. It's all about the abilities, the intelligence. It's not about the athleticism, the big, strong, can run quick. But then when it comes to football intelligence, we see them making the same mistakes week in, week out, because they don't have the footballing brain. So I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Barcelona, the academy system and how they coach their kids. Football comes first, and it's your technical ability. If you're good enough, you'll play regardless of your size.
Barcelona left Prague freezing, but with 3 crucial points in their pocket. The 4-2 away victory over Slavia Prague was exactly what the team needed. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't calm from start to finish, but it was mature, brave, and above all, decisive. Robert Lewandowski, who had yet to score in this Champions League campaign, showed up at the most critical moment of the match to score Barcelona's 4th goal, when things seemed at their toughest. He made up for his first-half mistake when he scored an own goal while Barcelona were leading 2-1. The goal came from a quick move. Alejandro Balde threaded a pass between the lines to Rashford, who controlled the ball, surged forward, cut inside, and delivered a powerful cross. Lewandowski, under pressure and struggling slightly to control the ball, showed what great goalscorers are made of, composure and instinct. He finished decisively and beat the goalkeeper. More than just a beautiful goal, it was a vital one for Hansi Flick's team. Although he didn't make much of an impact in the first half and inadvertently scored an own goal, the veteran striker redeemed himself by netting Barca's 4th, sealing the victory. Lewandowski may no longer have the mobility of his younger years, but his game intelligence and ability to decide big moments remain world-class. Having a player like that in big matches makes a difference, and Barca felt it in the best possible way. Another standout was Marcus Rashford. His direct involvement in Lewandowski's goal was no coincidence. The Englishman brings depth, pace, and aggression to Barcelona's attack, something the team has been lacking. He came on in the second half and provided the assist for Lewandowski's goal, proving decisive as a substitute. The cut inside, awareness of space, and powerful cross showed a player confident and comfortable in Hansi Flick's system. And when Rashford performs at this level, Barcelona become far more unpredictable going forward. In my view, Rashford expands Barca's attacking options. He's not just a winger who runs, he's a player who makes the right decisions under pressure, a crucial quality in the Champions League. Against Real Sociedad, he came on strong and scored Barcelona's only goal, so I was surprised to see him start on the bench in this match. I expected him to start in the absence of Lamine, but Flick opted for Rooney Bardghji instead. He struggled in the game, and I believe Flick waited too long to replace him with Rashford. MVP Fermin Lopez was the standout performer of the match, scoring Barcelona's first 2 goals to spark the comeback. With the score tied at 2-2 and the game completely open, one of the most tense moments of the night followed, Pedri's injury substitution. The midfielder left the pitch clearly frustrated while Hansi Flick watched the scene with the look of someone who had seen this movie before. His reaction was surreal, pure disbelief and desperation.
They're fun though, Stevie, aren't they, old Barca?
I tell you, can you imagine if they go out and bought 2 proper centre-backs? Can you imagine how good this team would be?
Yeah.
Because right now, it's really it's an Achilles heel big time, and it's probably going to stop them winning the Champions League. But yeah, to watch, yes, please.
Latest on Pedri, we were just discussing it. Is there anything you can tell us, Alex?
Yeah, well, TV cameras picked him up limping away from the stadium afterwards. Hansi Flick was asked about it after the game. He said, "We don't know, it's too soon, he'll undergo tests." There are conflicting reports, as you mentioned, from journalists who are close to the team. Some saying, this looks worrying, this looks a concern. Others saying, maybe it isn't that bad. Basically, the bottom line is, at this stage, nobody knows. It will depend on those tests that he'll undergo tomorrow.
Pedri is the brain of the team, finds space and connects the different lines. Losing him at that moment could have been the definitive psychological blow. But this is where a fundamental point comes in. Barcelona did not lose its shape. The substitution was preventive and well judged, and the initial tests indicate that the injury is not serious. Even so, his absence for a few weeks will be felt. So far, Pedri has already missed 5 matches this season due to physical issues, which remains a real concern. However, Dani Olmo, who came on as a substitute, changed the dynamic of the match with a moment of high technical quality. The commentators pointed out the risk of his entering the game without a proper warm-up, especially with the temperature at 9 degrees Celsius. Under those conditions, the lack of warm-up could pose a risk to his health, increasing the chances of thermal shock and muscle injuries. But they were wrong. If there was someone destined to take center stage on that freezing night in Prague, it was Dani Olmo. He came on in a hurry, practically without warming up, inheriting enormous responsibility, and he responded in the best possible way. In the 63rd minute, after a long spell of pressure and suffocating ball possession from Barcelona, the ball fell to him at the edge of the box. Olmo didn't hesitate. A clean, precise strike straight into the top corner. A spectacular goal, the kind that silences stadiums and instantly changes the mood of the game. Dani Olmo is used to big matches, hostile environments, and split-second decisions. He showed personality, technique, and intelligence. It wasn't just a goal, it was a statement. Much has been said about Hansi Flick's work, and rightly so. The German coach is beginning to leave his mark clearly. A Barcelona side that knows how to suffer, doesn't panic when it temporarily loses control of a game, and understands when to speed things up or slow them down. Even after Slavia's equaliser and Pedri's injury, the team maintained its structure, continued pressing high, and relied on possession as a defensive tool. That detail matters. Barca won because it believed in its model until the very end. Frankie de Jong stood out in the post-match assessments as one of the most consistent midfielders, controlling the game and playing an active role in the build-up. The bad news is that he picked up a yellow card and will miss the next Champions League match. 13th place to 9th. They now have 13 points and a +5-goal difference. The scenario is clear. In the final round against FC Copenhagen at Spotify Camp Nou, the objective is to win and score as many goals as possible. A top 8 finish is within reach and their fate is in their own hands. With PSG and Newcastle facing each other and other contenders dealing with tough matchups, Barca are in a very strong position. It's not an exaggeration to say that direct qualification for the round of 16 is more than possible. It's likely. And playing the second leg of the knockout round at home at Camp Nou completely changes the outlook of the competition. Barcelona showed that it knows how to compete away from home, respond to adversity, and decide big matches with a mix of experienced players and young talent. There are still adjustments to be made, injuries to manage, and major challenges ahead. Now the focus shifts to the next game. Since I was a child, people have talked about my footballing side. They said I was the new Messi and at the same time a disaster, the worst signing in Real Madrid's history. I don't see myself as Messi, nor as the worst signing in Real Madrid's history. I'm working to become the best version of myself and I know I can get there, he said in the mixed zone at the Santiago Bernabeu. I'm happy. I worked very hard for this match to happen. Real Madrid is a very demanding club where you always have to give your best. I've also heard the criticism, which I haven't forgotten. It makes me better and stronger. Today I was able to loosen up a bit more and show the version of myself that I want Real Madrid to see, said Franco Mastantuono. I don't see anything in him that reminds me of Messi. It's actually easier to say that Lamine Yamal is a mix of Messi and Neymar. But Mastantuono? Honestly, I don't see anything in him that can be compared to Messi. And you, what do you think? Is Mastantuono really the next Messi?